Hello and welcome everybody. This is Danny and we're live here from the peer-to-peer conference in Riga. It's day number 2 and we're sitting at a very beautiful lake, and next to me a beautiful handsome guy. Uh, Maybe you want to introduce yourself and give some information about yourself.
Okay. So my name is Tanel. I'm the CEO of Reinvest24. It's a P2B platform, but I would say our concept is a bit different than crowd lending, or we're trying to provide a bit different investment instruments. Basically, we can position ourselves in the middle of P2B platforms and open real estate funds. We try to take the benefits of the crowdfunding and apply them to traditional real estate investments. That means purchasing the property and staying to operate it for a monthly income. So we try to give the investment equity characteristics. That means the same benefits and security as owning a property or a part of the property.
Yeah.
So collectively, basically purchasing rental properties, and we will do all the management work for you, so you can basically become a passive landlord just to collect rent money. And also the value appreciation over time, the market growth and the increasing value of the properties also benefit our investors.
Maybe a few notes on the side. I forgot probably in the introduction. We hold it quite close, so I don't know if hopefully everybody can understand the audio quality, because it's quite windy here, as you can imagine, being on the lake. I see also the video is a bit shaking, so I hope that's fine. Actually, I have an idea. There's a very good book that you should read. We'll use it to stabilize now. That looks way better. So, and we're here at the lake, and Tanel, CEO from Reinvest24. Now, you already said a couple things about your business model, how you operate, how you differentiate. But I would like to, in the beginning, probably keep it just very basic. Just about yourself. Yesterday, we talked already a bit. I figured out you're 29, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm 29 years old.
Yeah. And you have Reinvest founded, when was it exactly? Last year?
Yeah, last year in May, so we're a pretty new platform. I wasn't the original founder of the platform, but I've been with the platform since the day of launch, and I've been shaping the platform to find the right product fit for the market, to create the right product for the investors that are interested in. And from my background, I was working in LHV Asset Management before, and my main focus was investor relationships. I was leading my own team there. I keep hearing more and more from retail investors that they're more interested to invest into real estate than bonds or funds or securities or anything like that. But just the entry barrier is too high for most of the retail investors. So it's kind of hard to get started. And this is how we got to the idea to use the benefits from the crowdfunding mechanism and make it accessible for all the retail investors.
Okay. Is it the first time? Can I say you're like the CEO? Can I say you're like also owner of the business? Is that fair to say?
Well, yeah. A very small part though.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can say that. I'm planning to stay with the platform long term, of course. And I truly feel that it's my business, and I'm treating it as it is my business.
Okay, good approach. I'm very excited to meet you also here in person, because on the sidebar of my blog, I have a section which is like, okay, tell me which company you want to have like the most content about. What kind of platforms are you interested in? Mm-hmm. And I remember back then, it started probably in Q1 2019. I have a section, and I had like 10 to 15 platforms, and there was a category called like other, and people were able to just tick that other and just make a list of who they want to know more information, because I didn't want to list every company up front. And then over time there was more and more companies added, and I realized there was a heavy rotation going on in my blog, and many people have voted to get more information about Reinvest24, and when you observe also like the first channels where you can see some blog content about your platform, which was like for German publishers earlier this year, why do you think there's currently such a hype surrounding your platform? Why are people so attracted to know more about your business model? Because obviously, as you said already, there's a differentiation between typical crowd investing platforms in estate, like with Estate Guru or with Bulk Estate. Maybe can you point out again what is the exact difference in the business model between you and typical crowd investing platforms?
Yeah, so well, overall, I think our investments are more longer term, since it's basically an equity real estate investment. It also holds a smaller risk. I think the main reason why there is a lot of interest at the moment is that a lot of investors that I've talked to over the conference today and yesterday, they invest in 14 platforms, 22 different platforms. But if the instrument that the platforms are offering is pretty much similar, then the diversification is not that high really. Especially like if some platforms they use the same loan originators, then the diversification is not that great really. This is also why we wanted to do something differently. We feel that there is a high demand for rental real estate. It's a stable long-term income, and it is totally passive income. And it also holds a little bit lower risk. But of course, we're still a new platform, so we need to improve the platform and also prove our results and the historical returns. From our real estate team, that are basically the biggest owners, the Tinaga ABB real estate agency. Their team has been working with high-profile real estate projects in Baltics for the past 10 years, and the exited projects have been generating average 14.6% yield combined from the rental yield and capital growth. So it's pretty competitive, the combined yield, if you compare with crowd lending or real estate loans. So we can compete in that section, but the instrument is different, so it's like a real diversification. And I think new option on the market is always like something interesting for B2B investors. So we don't want to have just a new platform that offers the same thing, but we want to do something differently.
And one particular element that you can maybe elaborate, one article that triggered my interest very recently was about the risks. Now we have seen real estate projects with Lendi didn't go well at the end of May, and you positioned yourself also in a blog article about the risk evaluation for the different business models. So the risk between investing into loans, real estate loans, where mostly it's argued they're property backed, so there's some collateral, and on the other side, like in your business approach, real estate equity, that there's a different risk aversion because you're not really into the worth of the because you're looking more into the rental prices and how they develop in the Baltics than where you have your properties. Maybe can you say a few words about how those two business models differentiate in terms of the risk awareness for investors?
Well, I think the main thing would be that you need to consider that when you're investing into real estate loans, that you're not actually investing into real estate itself. You're investing into the companies that are developing real estate. But our platform offers you the real estate investments, that your money is going towards to purchase the property, not going towards the company's account that's going to use it to generate some profits. So this is probably the biggest risk difference. And we use also collateral agent that holds first range mortgage in favor of all the investors. So the concepts, we still use the crowdfunding mechanism. We try to take all the benefits from there and just apply it to a little bit different instrument. So altogether, I would say the main thing is that if you're investing in loans, you're investing into the companies. If you're investing into real estate crowdfunding, you're actually investing into real estate itself. And that instrument is quite different regarding to the risks.
Yeah, regarding to the risk. Okay, so you're located in Tallinn, in Estonia. Where do you have your estate projects? How do you get the properties? How many do you have currently, and where are they located? Many questions now.
Yeah, we are P2P platform. That means that we take the properties are coming from the people. So if any of our investors have any properties that they want to list on the platform, they can send it to us. We're going to look deep into it, but our criteria are very harsh, or we're very conservative. One of the criteria for listing the property on our platform is that if we're willing to invest our own money into it, if we see and if our owners, the real estate agency, would invest their money into it. So this is one of the
a fixed share, like from Reinvest, that you invest a certain portion yourself.
We don't have any fix, but we invest into all our properties ourselves as well. And at the moment we have 10 properties on the open platform since 2018 May. 9 of them are in Tallinn, and we just listed last month our first property in Riga. We try to cover all 3 Baltic capital cities by 2019, and in 2020 we're starting to look to expand to other areas. Some developing markets like Georgia looks very interesting. The rental demand is growing there year by year, and there is also huge potential for capital growth. Also some vacation homes in resort areas like Portugal, Spain. We're trying to establish some partnership with some companies there to manage our properties and look properties for us. But altogether, we still are peer-to-peer platform. That means that anyone can offer properties to us, and if we see potential in them and see the rental demand even in longer term period, and understand the potential of it, then of course we can list it.
Okay. Maybe you can say a few words about how you actually make money. So I'm always curious to understand, how does the business model work? Now, personally investing in Estate Guru myself, I know they have like a success fee. So they're only, as far as I know, monetize through the borrower. They have like a success fee, which is like 3 to 4% of the loan size, and then there's probably like 1-2% administrative fee. How does Reinvest24 monetize its business model?
Yeah, so we don't have loan originators, so we cannot charge them. Yeah. We have 2% fee from the entry in the founding round, and also on the secondary markets. No fees for the seller on the secondary markets. And for the rental properties, we have 10% operating fee that comes from gross rental yield. That doesn't include the real operating costs that we need to, the real costs that go towards the operating. This is just a platform fee that comes from the gross yields. And that's pretty much it at the moment. We are thinking about having a success fee as well with some of the development projects. That the development projects that we have on the platform at the moment are actually more like development loans, because we take the market risk. But in the future, we're going to have projects that are like similar, like to equity investment into development projects. So the investors will take the market risks, but also the benefits will be bigger, and from there we will have some success fee. But this, since we don't have this kind of projects yet on the platform, then this is not something that is not finalized yet. We don't have this yet set, but 2% from the entry and 10% from operating the properties is our fee.
And what I heard yesterday, some investors have said, "Oh, you charge, I think, a 2% fee from the deposit or something." So some investors, I heard, you take like a 2% fee. I don't know, for the first time when they deposit, or probably whenever they deposit money. Does that add to the income stream?
It's actually not from the deposit. We don't take anything from the deposits, but it is when you place your investment, when you enter into any of the properties. Yeah. So what was the question again?
So just like if you monetize also through retail investors, so if you charge them fees when they invest, and as you just said, like this.
Yeah. It's just a 2. Yeah. So it's just 2% from the entry for any new investor. That also includes the secondary market. And I think altogether, regarding to Reinvest24 business model, the secondary market will have a huge income. Their main revenue source might be even the main revenue source, because we also take 2% entry fee from the new investors in entering on the secondary market. There is no fees for the sellers, but we are pretty ambitious with our secondary market plan. We plan to have develop a exchange marketplace where you can buy and sell property shares. So we've been working on it for past 6 months already. It's been a rather difficult road for us, but we are getting close, and we're pretty confident that by end of June we're able to launch it finally.
What can you say in terms of the owning structure? Again, I think you touched base in the beginning, but just again, the owning structure of Reinvest24, as well as the financing situation. Could be you're on the market now for a year. Probably that's a question many people are concerned about, like how are you financed and what's the owning structure?
Reinvest24 is being owned by Reinvest Holding. Reinvest Holding is also owning all the SPVs that own the properties that we operate. And Reinvest Holding is being owned by Tinaga VB, one of the biggest owners, and some smaller shareholders. So this is how the company structure works. We have actually, I've done a webinar about this as well, where I explain all these details. So make sure to have a look at that to get some more details, or you can always email me as well with some questions, Tanel@reinvest24.com.
Okay. Maybe final words. What is the outlook for Reinvest24? Maybe until the end of the year, what is it that investors can expect? I see there's a lot of cashback actions going on currently. You want to push, obviously, so you're in chase of new investors. Why should they invest? Maybe a few words. What can they expect also this year? And your final pitch, basically.
Okay. We haven't yet reached the critical point where we have enough user base to add new projects frequently enough and get them funded fast enough that the investors' money doesn't sit on the funding round without any returns. So we are working hard regarding to that. We have tripled our user base from the beginning of the year. So we are more than confident that the product, the demand for this kind of product is out there. We just need to educate people, and the lengthy blog post for what you mentioned as well was just to make a point and just to stand out and just to show that behind the platform there is more than just numbers, just the yield numbers that you can earn, that you should look deeper into the risks and do more due diligence to understand all the risks before investing. But I think after the secondary market launch and when our first development projects pay back the principal amount together with the interest rates in September, October, the platform is going to take off, and where user base is going to reach the level where we can add more frequently more projects, offer more diversification for our users, and also offer exit option through the secondary market. So I think the next campaign will be towards secondary markets to bring more liquidity there. We plan to have no minimum buy or sell orders on the secondary market. That will also bring more liquidity to it there, since the users are able to reinvest their monthly income from the rental. In the funding round, it's going to be €100 minimum, but no minimums on the secondary market. So we need to make that. We need to provide the liquidity on the secondary market and prove that we can show some results, not just from the rental year, but also that capital growth is not just something theoretical on the paper, but it's a real income source for our investors. So these are the areas that we need to improve in. And of course, more details about in the My Investment section, like tax reports, which I understand are very, very important for German investors, for example. We take all the feedback very seriously, and we shape the platform in a manner that the investors are looking to, invest.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you very much for your time. Let's enjoy the rest of the conference, and yeah, thanks for answering some questions.
Thank you.